Hey y'all, I'm coming around. So we got a neat little project today. It's just starting to rain, so you're probably gonna hear that. This is my friend John.
Hey, how's it going?
John figured out a unique little thing. He rooted a whole bunch of Jaboticaba cuttings, little bitty ones.
That's right, from cuttings, not from seed. And with this technique, I hope that we can share it with the rest of you. It's pretty easy to do. The secret is just hydration, the right soil acidity, and patience to get it done. But Bonnie's been nice enough to take a whole bunch of cuttings out of the garden.
Oh boy, we got some fun stuff to play with.
We got all kinds of fun things. And we're going to use some good old-fashioned hydrated peat moss and to show you how it's treated and how it's done.
All right. Here's the man. This is his baby.
No worries. So what we typically will do is just cut. Which one do you want to start with?
Floribunda.
Floribunda.
It's
Okay.
Mercieria floribunda.
And we'll show you everything that we're using here. I mean, basically we're using. Oh, did you have that lemon or that?
Oh
lime?
yeah, I gotta go grab a lemon.
One thing that we need before we do that. But
You can show the prep.
while he's doing that, I'll show you how we do our cutting. So typically we're using first or second year growth. You don't want it too woody, so what you're looking for are plants that just have a little bit of green on them. And these are just crossing branches low on the Jaboticabas that you can take your cuttings from. And basically you're taking one and making a snippet. Just use cutting tool. Any kind you have, little pruning shears will work. You cut it as close to the trunk as you can. We're just going to cut a few different kinds of cuttings off of this one. You can see how many we're going to get just off of one little branch. We're going to get 4 cuttings. Just like that. We're giving it a haircut.
Fresh key line right off the tree.
And that's for acidity. Because a lot of the Jaboticabas, when you cut them, they start to produce a substance which affects their pH and prevents rooting. Basically what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to strip your nodes here off the bottom so that you're exposing basically the bottom part of the Jaboticaba cutting. And then just taking your fingernail, scraping it down, try to get to a little green layer down at the bottom. I don't know if you can hold that up so you can see that green.
Just exposing a little bit of that cambium layer.
Yeah. And also by stripping off the leaf nodes on the sides, you're exposing some of that cambium layer too. But basically we're just going to get a source of an acid. It's either lemon or lime. We did our little cutting here. It's just
You're leaving that much leaf on.
I'm leaving a substantial amount of leaf on here. So we're just taking it and we're dipping it into the acid a little bit. That's all it needs. And I'm using a good strong rooting hormone here. This is an IBA rooting hormone. This is called Formax. It comes in different strengths. This one is designed, it's Formax 16, and it's designed for very woody cutting, things that have difficulty getting cutting from. So you're basically just dipping it in there, getting a good covering on it after you've dipped it in the acid. The acid's freeze-dried. Yeah. And these are just root riot plugs. All this is sphagnum peat moss that's been pressed into a plug. It's got a hole in it for easy insertion. I like to take it and separate it just a little bit like that, about halfway down. Stick it in, push it closed, and guess what? You're all done. You're going to take this guy. Probably we're just going to stick him right back into these little seedling trays here and leave it right there. And when we're all done having all these seedling trays filled up, we're going to put them in the larger tray here with the pre-wetted peat moss in the bottom. This is just field capacity, hydration. It's just moist to the touch. And then you put a humidity dome on it. I don't know what the dome is.
I see it. Let me grab it. It's right here.
good. When you're all done filling it up, you're just going to put your dome on. Kind of like that. Make sure you have enough space that goes all the way around. Open your holes at the top so it can breathe. So basically you're going to take this and leave it in the shade. Of course it's got a hornet on it now. Don't want the hornet. But leave it in the shade.
Hey buddy, what are you doing? He's going to help.
Yep, for about 3 months. You just leave it in the shade. What I consider bright shade, never getting any direct sunlight, but somewhere underneath the canopy of a tree, just decent amount of ambient light with no direct sunlight, and leave it in there for 2 or 3 months.
I think that you hit it right on the head. That fluid sap, whatever comes out of it, the fact that it's basic,
It's
makes
a basic
so
solution.
It makes so much sense why they need an acidic
They do.
soil
They
to
need
live
an
in.
acidic component, and if you ever have to go back, if this is properly hydrated, you'll never have to water it. It's constantly going to be doing that little rain cycle where it heats up. The humidity is going to cause it to drip back down. You probably won't need to give it any more moisture, but we had an extremely dry summer this year.
Yeah, we did.
If you have to rehydrate it, always rehydrate it from the bottom, from down here. Don't water it from the top. And use a good pH neutral rainwater, RO water, distilled water, nothing with any calcium in it, not Florida tap water.
Yeah, you're rigging up an interesting system.
We're on a tap system. The pH of our water is 8.4. It's liquid chalk when it comes out the tap, so don't use it. I have a IBC tote that I use for rain sequestration, for capturing rainwater that drips off of my roof. That's what I use to water my Jaboticaba and some other tropical plants. So just use that 3 or 4 months, 2 or 3 months, maybe 2.5, 3 months. Come back out and give it a little tug on the top. If it easily slides out, it hasn't rooted yet. If there's some resistance there, see if you can pick up your little root cube. If there's resistance there, you know it's rooted out, and you'll have roots on the bottom.
That's awesome.
I will send Lonnie some pictures of what they look like when they're rooted.
Yeah, you did.
I did.
He sent me some. I'll post them.
Yeah, just
It,
post
like
it
at the end of the
along with
video, so you can see it's. What was it? That was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
He sent me these pictures, and I'm like,
And
what?
those are cuttings that were done in early June, and I popped them out end of August, first week of September, and they are just crazy with roots. If you do it right, the right pH, you can get 80 to 90% of them to take, which is damn near impossible.
Those are good
to do.
numbers.
Those were monster numbers that I figured out.
Yeah, that's. As soon as he sent me that picture, I said, what did you do? You have to teach me this trick. I said, I have like 20 varieties of Jabos we can pull cuttings off of. So here we are.
Yeah, that's the method. Lonnie and I are going to sit here and chop up the rest of these and get them in their root cubes today.
Yeah.
And we'll check them out later. I'm sure he'll post updated videos on his cuttings.
Red Lantern, Jaboticaba.
And we'll see how they do. Hopefully most of them will do well.
Oriana.
You know, there's always going to be a certain percentage that won't take. It's a numbers game. The more cuttings you can do, especially on first and second year growth, the better. Third year and up, you're probably it's going to be a lot harder row to hoe. But if you're getting that newer growth within the first or second year, you should be able to get them to take.
I mean, you're looking at the growth that you used. That's baby growth.
Yeah.
Like that's just hardened off.
Yeah, literally just hardened off. There's still a little green at the end of it. It's first year growth into second year.
So yeah, we got some work ahead of us.
Got a little work to do.
So we're gonna get to work, and maybe I'll film a couple more,
Yeah, no worries.
and then
Here, we took that out.
Mr. Wasp is right there,
Just a minute.
right by your finger. Yeah.
Come on, buddy.
So we'll do a few more so you guys can see. I know the rain is
Kinda
not
cutting
sure you
down.
could hear earlier.
This one, here, let me do this. Let me just grab one that's already been cut. So, once again, I'm just kind of stripping off the bottom nodes down there. And you see on this older growth here, it's kind of brown, whereas the newer growth is green. So this is last year's growth, this is this year's growth. And all I'm doing is I'm basically just taking my fingernail scraping it off. It's where I'm exposing that Cambrian layer at the bottom. That's where the xylem and phloem of your tree is. That's where all the water is flowing up and down, and the glucose is flowing up and down from the leaves to the roots. That's the growing part of the tree. So you take that, you're dipping it in your acid. Once again, we're just dipping it in this little Deland can. It's got plenty of citric acid on it. Now we're taking it, rolling it just kind of into our Hormex 16 rooting hormone.
Hormex 16.
Hormex 16, that's the next to strongest that they make, that you can get commercially anyway. And I got my little prehydrated cube here, splitting it a little bit down the middle to give it a little extra space.
Because you don't want to wipe that rooting hormone off when you
don't want to wipe
slide
it all
in.
off. And that's it. You can leave some of the leaves on there as long as it stays hydrated. They'll take.
Probably that's why a lot of them don't work.
Right, is they're not leaving enough on there.
Because you're not able to.
Now here's the other thing that's tricky about these guys is they might look happy and healthy, and they might be putting out new growth.
And there's no roots.
But there's no roots. So you always have to do the tug test. Once it gets to about 2.5, 3 months, come back out, tug on it. If it doesn't have any roots, it's going to slip right out, just like that. I'll just take it, I'll re-dip it here. Put it back in the rooting hormone. Get a little coating on there. I'm going to take it and stick it back in here. And there you go.
That's it. Rooting, Jaboticabas, and we've got a few other things we're going to try in here too.
Yeah.
But
see how they take.
It doesn't seem to matter what the method is, you know.
It's the pH. It's the pH and the hydration. They need to stay humid. This is not a wintertime project.
So I wonder if that will affect the Cali guava.
We'll see.
Because it doesn't need as much acidity. It can kind of grow, but
I wouldn't
everything
necessarily say that it would hurt it, but I know with the Jaboticabas, they secrete a solution in the bark when they get scratched and when they get damaged that has a high pH value, a basic value to it. So it basically stops them from rooting at all. So you need to get that off of there before you actually try to put a rooting hormone on it.
So counteract it.
Dip it in a weak acid.
Counteract it with an acid.
Counteract it. And then give it low pH water, either pH neutral or below, slightly acidic. And that's it. Then it's all about time.
All right. Well, there you go.
We'll see how it does.
Let's. We're gonna get to work.
Yep.
And see how this project goes. But see you guys later. We will update at some point. I'm sure I'll put some pictures into things, but this is a successful method already. He's proven it. I'll show you the pictures at the end that he sent me. They're amazing. Beautiful little roots. Not even just guessing. Those are chunky little roots you had there. Awesome. That's nice. So, all right, we'll get this done and I'll get you guys up to date as soon as possible. But have a good day. Like, subscribe, share, all those things make my channel go kaboom.